One study found that half of all clients are unhappy with their lawyer. The number one complaint, a total lack of communication.
That's why we survey our clients and know over 97% are happy. Do your research. Call the husband and wife law team first.
Got mouths to feed? How about a dunk contest? For a limited time, a 20-piece chicken McNuggets from McDonald's is just $6. Everybody will jump at the chance to dunk their chicken McNuggets into those crowd-pleasing dipping sauces, sweet and sour, ranch, and tangy barbecue. You'll probably see some reverse dunks, 360-degree slams, and the classic two-handed jam. Host your dunk contest tonight with a 20-piece chicken McNuggets from McDonald's for just $6. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
The Summer Splash Sale is making waves at Little Dealer Little Prices. Make a splash and save some cash with RVs starting at $4 a day, a $1,000 trade-in bonus, and no markups on freight or prep fees ever. Whether you're upgrading or buying your first RV, our fast and easy financing make it simple to hit the road. This is your chance to soak up serious value and start making memories that last a lifetime. Hurry, these summer deals won't last. Shop the Summer Splash Sale now at littledealer.com. Painted based on 20% down at 8.49% APR for 180 months. Tax, title, and fees not included with approved credit.
At Shane Company, we love a spring engagement, but you might be wondering, how do I find the perfect engagement ring? As a trusted family jeweler since 1929, we get asked this a lot. We have a wide selection of ring settings, like vintage designs with romantic details, floral settings inspired by nature, and classic styles with clean lines and sleek metals. Dreaming of the most beautiful diamond you've ever seen? At Shane Company, we handpick only the sparkliest center stones in all shapes and sizes, from oval to round to marquise, and more. We have gorgeous natural and lab-grown diamonds at competitive prices, in-store, ready to compare side by side. Drawn to certain colors? We're known for our rainbow of vivid natural sapphires, including shades of blue, straight out of a fairy tale, handpicked by our owner, Tom Shane. At Shane Company, we have the best free lifetime warranty that includes the center stone, plus resizing, repairs, and cleanings for life. Visit us at shaneco.com or in store. No appointment necessary. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer? Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the Sleep Number 4th of July sale. Save over $600 on our King P5 smart bed, our lowest price of the season. Limited time. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. To learn more, visit one of our 12 Phoenix Sleep Number stores or visit sleepnumber.com.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix. It's the lunch break.
KD Watch enters yet another day. And are we missing the warning signs about the Arizona Diamondbacks? All of that, our focus today on this, the Thursday edition of The Lunch Break. Appreciate you joining us here on the program. Chris Schubert with you for the next 2 hours. Producer Evan is behind the glass taking your phone calls, 480-864-1060. Would love to hear from you on another day of Kevin Durant watch. Phase 2 is what we're entering in. I didn't realize that the Kevin Durant trade bonanza was in phases and that we were in phase 1, but now we have entered phase 2. We'll discuss that, what it means, if there's really just one team that the Suns should be focusing on right now. But we start with the most frustrating team in town right now. They continue to baffle us on a regular basis. We start with the baseball team.
Time for our top story of the day. It's the Daily Special.
That's the Diamondbacks bullpen that I remember. That's the group that I'm used to seeing in a game in the 6th, 7th, and 8th innings. That looked very familiar last night. The Diamondbacks fell to the Toronto Blue Jays in the second game of their series, now in danger of getting swept by Toronto. The seesaw nature of this season continues, and just in front of a very important 9-game stretch, the Diamondbacks have had all sorts of issues the last 2 days. With Shelby Miller in the opener of this series, not being able to close the door in the 9th inning, and then yesterday, you just watched it play out, and you knew you just knew how it was going to go, right? The Diamondbacks somehow, some way, find themselves only down 1 run in the late innings. Somehow, they're only down 2-1 because Eduardo Rodriguez and Taylor Scott do their best magic acts and work out of trouble. Eduardo Rodriguez a couple of times working out of trouble. Scott worked out of the big trouble that Erod found himself into, and the game is only 2-0. And with this offense and the talent that they possess, you're watching the game and you're like, they've got a chance. Couple swings, right back in it. Corbin Carroll hits a triple. They're able to get that run in. It's 2-1, and it's within striking distance. And then the Diamondbacks bullpen did what the Diamondbacks bullpen always does. They give games away. Now, I don't want to put it on the list. I don't believe it classifies as a meltdown for how we have determined meltdowns on this program in the past. They were losing the game when the bullpen first came in. They did allow the game to be completely blown open and gave the Diamondbacks no chance. But I do not believe. Now, I'll hear arguments to the other side, but I do not believe that this classifies as a game that goes on the meltdown meter.
I think you have to have the lead. You have to have the lead to be on the meltdown meter.
In order for something to be a meltdown, it feels like it has to rise to the level of you're trying to hold on to the game, you're trying to hold on to a lead late, and you give it away. Or you're up 4 or 5 runs, and you just completely implode.
They couldn't score yesterday.
Could not score yesterday, and we have mentioned how important the offense was going to be. We've mentioned that they have to carry things right now. Let's face it. Right now, the Diamondbacks are not going to be able to get the lack of length from their starters and win a lot of baseball games. Just not going to happen. This bullpen is not good enough. It's not going to get good enough with the internal options that they have. They are left to 2 options. There are 2 things that this team can do right now if they want to win baseball games and be buyers at the deadline. Option A, score more runs. Option A is the offense does what we said a couple of weeks ago they need to do, carry the weight. Put the team on your back. Put the team on your shoulders. A top 10 offense needs to become a top 5 offense. That's option A. Option B is you get length from your starters. I just don't know where that length is going to come from outside of Merrill Kelly. That length is not coming from Eduardo Rodriguez anytime soon. That length is not coming from Brandon Pfaadt anytime soon. Today, it's Ryan Nelson on the mound. I don't know if that length is coming from Ryan Nelson anytime soon. Zach Gallen, who knows? Roll a dice, flip a coin when you wake up the day of a Zach Gallen start. Heads, he's going to go deep into the game. Tails, it's going to be a short outing. So option A is really the only viable option right now as we sit here today. But yesterday's game and yesterday's bullpen, we won't say meltdown, but just bullpen implosion, to me, makes me more mad that Shelby Miller did not close things down the day prior. Because yesterday shouldn't shock any of us. It should not shock any of us, at least now, in the middle of June, that Kevin Ginkel can't get anybody out. It was a shock at the beginning. This is a trusted, reliable veteran who's been a closing option in the past, was supposed to be a part of a 3-headed monster late in games. At the beginning, him struggling should surprise us. Now, should not be a surprise. It should not be a surprise if Ryan Thompson comes in and blows a lead or blows a game. It should not surprise us right now that this bullpen cannot keep a game close and cannot hold on to a lead. What was surprising was the other night they got things to the 9th inning. They got things to Shelby Miller. And the fact that they couldn't slam the door shut and that they couldn't hold on and win that game is even more frustrating when you see what happens the next night. The next day, you see what we all have grown accustomed to seeing from this bullpen. The outlier was Tuesday. The outlier was getting the ball to Shelby Miller in a save spot in the 9th inning. You cannot lose that game. Why? Because there's way too many games like the one we saw last night in the Diamondbacks' future. This team does not have any internal options anymore to fix this. Injuries, underperformance, regression, whatever bucket these pitchers fall into, they cannot hold on to a lead. They cannot, in last night's scenario, keep a game close. It was a miracle that game was 2-1 where it was. And you're thinking to yourself, a rational, realistic baseball fan is watching that game thinking to themselves, just got to keep it close. Keep it close. And Corbin Carroll and Ketel Marte and Perdomo and Josh Naylor and this offense, they're going to score more than one run. They're going to get on the board. Just keep it right here. That is what a rational, realistic baseball fan who's not watching the 2025 Arizona Diamondbacks would say in that spot. But all of us who root for, watch this team, cover this team, talk about this team, we see that. We see the 7th, 8th innings roll around and a 2-1 lead, wondering, oh no, they're not going to be able to win this baseball game. Oh no, what's it going to look like tonight? Just another example, but not an example that should shock any of us. Last night is exactly what we have seen over and over and over again. This bullpen is a problem.
There's no doubt about it. This is the same movie, the same TV show. It may be written a different way from night to night, but the plot's the same. It's the same thing. And last night was another demoralizing one where you felt like you were in the game, and then all of a sudden you're not. And you're just kind of left to sit there and think, what if? What if this team could just get outs? What if the bullpen stayed healthy? What if Kevin Ginkel wasn't as bad this year?
10 earned runs allowed in his last 3 innings of work.
There's tons of questions, and it feels like right now they don't have a single answer.
Doesn't matter who's available, who's not available because of how much they've worked the last couple of days. It does not matter. That is a game that was trending towards one that you could have, again, let's live in a normal baseball world for a second. That's a game that you have an opportunity to steal. The Blue Jays should have been up 4-0, 5-0, 6-0 with what they were able to do against Eduardo Rodriguez, but they could not break through. He worked out of jams. Taylor Scott came in and worked out of the big jam with the bases loaded. It should have been a blowout from Toronto. They should have run Eduardo Rodriguez from this game earlier than they did. They didn't. And with this offense, you are chomping at the bit to go steal that game. And right after you score the run to make it 2-1 to make the game close, your bullpen can't get you the 3 outs to keep the momentum rolling, to get you back into the dugout. Because think about the way it transpires if it goes as the following. You score the run after Corbin makes things happen, gets on base with the triple, RBI ground out. It's 2-1. Now we go to the bottom part of the inning. Imagine if you get 3 outs there. The confidence that's going to grow in that dugout of, this one's ours. This one, they didn't put us away early. They didn't knock us out of this game. Let's go steal it.
How many times do you see a team come up with the bases loaded, nobody out, not score a run, and sitting on your couch at home, you're like, this one's ours. Let's go. This one's ours, right? They blew that opportunity, and then they come out, Corbin Carroll triples, and you feel right away, you're like, yeah, that's it. This one's ours.
Get the next 3 outs and get your bats back up there with a chance where one swing for a team that hits a lot of home runs, one swing ties the game. You never get that chance.
We've said so many times this team just needs a shutdown inning, and they can just never get it when they need it.
Nope, they can never get the key shutout inning when it is asked of them, when it is required of them. They cannot come through consistently enough with that shutdown inning. And so now we sit here 45 minutes from now, they're going to play trying to avoid getting swept. We have said many times there comes a point where I'm not interested in moral victories. I'm not interested in silver linings. But I'll tell you what, do not get swept today. Do not get swept. Find a way to salvage something here in Toronto before you start a 9-game stretch where I think your season hangs in the balance. If you don't go 7-2 or better in this 9-game stretch, I'm not sure we're having a conversation in July about this team being buyers. I think we're having a conversation about this team being sellers. So do us all a favor and salvage something today.
And Will Smith, write a little thank you note to him for keeping you in the playoff race last night.
This team right now, despite the frustration that we all have on a regular basis, we looked at the standings today. 3 games out of the last wildcard spot. It feels insurmountable. It feels like they're 12 games out. They're only 3. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know if that is a reason for optimism or if it is a reason they're going to continue to try to make something happen that isn't going to happen. And we're going to talk about that today. There are warning signs all over the place that go beyond just the bullpen here to point that this team should not be anywhere near a conversation about buying. But we're also going to talk to you today about if this team is going to buy, does it need to happen right now? Does it need to happen in the next couple of days? Does it need to happen in the next week for it to actually matter and impact this baseball team? They are on a knife's edge right now. They are balancing on the tightrope, and there's no net below them. They are about halfway through. I don't know how it's going to go the rest of the way. I don't. Can I see a world where they finish walking across the tightrope and they make it to the other side? Sure. Doesn't really feel like it in the moment, but I can see it. But I can also see a moment where they fall off the tightrope. And that would spell doom for this team in July. That would spell them being the Mike Hazen's phone won't stop ringing if that happens. And there's an opportunity there. Maybe we'll touch on that a little bit closer to the deadline. But this team, their margin for error is not 0, but it's pretty close to 0.
It's extremely thin.
It is extremely thin. 480-864-1060, the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. We've also got you over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream as well. When we come back, I didn't realize we were in phase 1, but now we're in phase 2 of the KD sweepstakes. What does it mean? That's next on the lunch break. KDUS AM 1060.
James Out West, your home for sports down here in the desert. Join James and Pat the Stat Guy as they recap the weekend and dive deep into the numbers for the NFL, NBA, college sports, and more.
That's 5 seasons of 1,200 yards.
Player stats, team numbers, and contracts are just the start of the discussion for James and Pat.
He started 815 career games. He threw 749 complete games.
There's no hiding when it comes to stats. It's James Out West every Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m. right here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why. It's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. T&Cs apply. Available in app only.
9 Inch Nails. Live at Footprint Center, September 16th. Get tickets now at NIN.com. 9 Inch Nails, live in Phoenix. Peel It Back World Tour 2025.
Hey Arizona, Tom Chambers here. I've learned that great teams are built by hard work, ethics, and perseverance. That's exactly what you get with Right Way Roofing. Right Way Roofing is a third-generation roofing company that has built trust in our community through their commitment to excellence. They use the toughest, most durable materials to handle Arizona's extreme weather. Take it from me, Tom Chambers. When it comes to your roof, choose the team that delivers excellence, because there's only one way. The right way.
We're Right Way Roofing and we do it right. We'll always keep you watertight.
You don't need lunch. You need a lunch miracle. You need Peter Piper Pizza's lunch buffet starting at $9.99. Think about it. A dozen people, 15 lunch ideas, and only an hour to eat? Lunch miracle to the rescue.
Peter Piper Pizza's lunch buffet has fun and deliciousness served fresh. Choose from pizzas, pastas, salads, and desserts starting at $9.99 a person. The next time you need a lunchtime miracle on a weekday between 11 and 2, look no further. At Peter Piper Pizza, the fun is baked in.
Jim Rome here with your Rome Report. The Florida Panthers cracked Edmonton Tuesday night to go back-to-back, ripping another Stanley Cup. So much for this being the best Stanley Cup final ever. It's not that, but I will stand by what I always say. It is still the most difficult trophy in all sports to win, and the NHL playoffs are still the most grueling of any professional postseason. Teams just don't repeat in hockey like they do in other sports. Not saying it's impossible, just saying it's near impossible. And normally I would not call back-to-back titles a dynasty, but when you consider that that was their third straight trip to the final, how hard it is to not only get there, but to win there twice, and to do so in the Cap era, I have absolutely no problem calling this a dynasty. Tremendous team, tremendous coaching, tremendous culture, and top to bottom, one of the great organizations in all of sport. Never mind the year of the rat. It's the decade of the rat, and that's a room full of rodents. And I mean that in the best way possible. I'm Jim Rome.
O'Reilly. Stay cool this summer with AC Pro Refrigerant at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Right now, get a $15 gift card after rebate with the purchase of select AC Pro Refrigerant products that include a hose and gauge. If your vehicle's AC is blowing hot air, beat the heat with AC Pro. Visit your O'Reilly Auto Parts store or shop online at O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Attention all clones. The Jim Rome Show is here for you every day here on KDUS AM 1060.
Lots to get done. Welcome to the program.
Listen in as Rome dives into the biggest sports headlines of the day. From final scores, player contracts and trades, team prospects, and even a spicy take or two. The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. every weekday here on KDUS AM 1060.
That's the trick.
Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Quote, we're in phase 2 of the KD discussions. Phase 1 was the Suns being nice and saying, yes, we'll talk to the 3 teams on your list and see if we can get something done. Phase 2 is, we're not feeling this. We need you to meet us in the middle a little bit, end quote. That from Sam Amick over at The Athletic in updating everybody where things stand in KD watch. Now, I did not realize that the Kevin Durant sweepstakes, the Kevin Durant trade rumors were in phases. I did not realize that these were Marvel movies, and we were in phase 1. Now we're entering phase 2. I think in real life, the Marvel movies were in like phase 5 or phase 6. So we've got a ways to go here in the Kevin Durant sweepstakes. Get your popcorn, get your favorite movie snack. I mean, we've got a long way to go here if we're only in phase 2 of the KD discussions. Now, phase 2 was pretty good. Phase 2 had Iron Man 3, had Thor the Dark World, Captain America Winter Soldier was in phase 2. I mean, phase 2
Is Civil War phase 2?
It was pretty good. Phase 2 had some pretty good Marvel movies. So if we didn't like phase 1, don't worry, everybody. Phase 2 of the Kevin Durant discussions, they're going to be great. This is going to be fantastic. What does this actually mean? What does it mean that we're now in phase 2? Well, phase 1 was we're going to play nice. We're going to do what you want. We're going to try to talk to Miami. We're going to talk to Houston. We're going to talk to San Antonio. Well, clearly, that has not gone the way the Suns have wanted it to go. Clearly, they have not gotten an offer from either of those teams that has warranted them running the trade into the league office. They're waiting. Those 3 teams have not given the Suns enough. Whether or not that is because the Suns' asking price is too high,
or if it's because those teams are lowballing the Suns. Either way, it does not fit what the Suns want to do. If the Suns had an offer that they loved, I think we would have heard about it by now, and or the trade would have already been done. So now phase 2 is, we need you to meet us in the middle a little bit. That is the quote from Sam Amick. What does that mean? Does that mean that Kevin Durant needs to be more open to Minnesota? That he needs to be more open to Toronto? He needs to be more open to the Clippers? He needs to be more open to a mystery team? Because let's face it, those teams, Minnesota, Toronto, LA, the thing they have working against them right now, or in their favor, is Kevin Durant has not indicated that he wants to sign a long-term deal with those teams. So they are not going to meet the Suns' price tag. So this sounds very much like the Suns, if we are to believe that we are in phase 2, going to KD and saying, listen, these offers aren't working for us. We are going to do right by our organization first and foremost. We need to get better offers. We need you to be more open to signing an extension with Minnesota. We need you to be more open to signing an extension with Toronto, with LA, with a mystery team that gets involved. We need you to not run to the media and leak to Shams that you have zero desire to play in Minnesota. We need you to play ball here a little bit more. That's a scary place to be if that's where the Phoenix Suns truly are at, because then that means all of the leverage belongs to Kevin Durant. All of the leverage in this situation belongs to KD. It belongs to Miami. It belongs to Houston. It belongs to San Antonio. It belongs to those 4 entities. The leverage belongs to them, because Minnesota is not going to up their offer until they know that Kevin Durant is going to sign a contract extension. Toronto isn't going to get into this to the level that Minnesota has been involved and the other 3 teams have been involved until they know that Kevin Durant may be interested in signing a contract extension with them. The same goes for the Clippers. The same goes for Detroit, who I've seen thrown out by some as a potential, late entrant into all of this. Any other favorite mystery team, if Orlando wants to keep pushing their chips into the middle. Until his tune changes, the Suns feel like they are stuck between rock and a hard place. It feels like they are stuck. They are not going to get better offers from Miami or Houston or San Antonio. They are not going to get better offers from those teams until KD shows a willingness to go someplace else. And if you're Kevin Durant, he has said this in the past, that he doesn't want to get traded in the middle of the season. This was one of the big reasons why he did not want to go to Golden State is, you're going to have to give up a lot to get me. What am I walking into? And so if he really, truly wants San Antonio more than any of the other teams, why is he going to help the Suns increase San Antonio's offer so that when he gets to San Antonio, there's less around him? The Suns find themselves in a really tough spot right now.
I always knew it was going to be tough getting the return they wanted for Kevin Durant. It's just the way it works. It's just the way it's going to go. But it feels like, from what we know, the asking price is higher than it should be. And
see, I don't know
what teams are offering is lower than I ever thought it could have been.
I don't know if that first part is true. I don't know if the Suns are asking for too much. I don't know that, right? I don't know that they gone to San Antonio and said, we want 2 and Castle and Vassell. Like, have they said that? That would be asking too much. That, to me, that's not reality. That you can't go to Houston and say, we want Amen Thompson. Right? That's not reality. We're not living in the real world if we're Matt Ishbia and Brian Gregory. If that's happening, then this is on the Suns. But I don't know if that's happening. What I think is happening is that San Antonio, Miami, and Houston, they know that the Suns aren't getting the offers that they're looking for right now. They know that KD is making it difficult for Minnesota and Toronto and the Clippers and anybody else to get involved. So they feel like they can wait this out.
They're in a hard position, and they need one team or one report to come out that X team, let's call them San Antonio, has raised their offer to try and get a Kevin Durant deal done.
Well, we're going to talk about this a little later on in the show. I think that team is Minnesota. I think the Suns desperately need Minnesota, and they need KD to want Minnesota, and that's going to get us into phase 3. That's going to get us into the bidding war that the Suns are looking for here. If there's going to be a bidding war where they're going to be able to get more here, it's going to be Kevin Durant changing his mind about a team like Minnesota. But guess what? This is where the chess match plays out. And you can kind of get into a little bit of a leveling war with yourself. KD knows this. KD knows that if he goes and says, I'm willing to go to Minnesota, then Minnesota's going to jump back in and increase their offer. And then that means the Suns are going to take that offer and go to Houston and San Antonio and Miami and try to get them. And it's going to be exactly what KD doesn't want to happen. So if KD and his team knows this, then they're never going to give the Suns what they want, which is, yes, we would go to Minnesota.
And that's the most frustrating part is for Kevin Durant, you said it best. Why would I want you to give up a larger package to come get me?
And that's exactly what he said.
They're not going to be around me.
That's exactly what he said. I think he was on, was it Draymond's podcast? He was on a podcast a little bit after the trade deadline. And basically mentioned that it takes a lot to get me. Like he understands that if you're going to trade for somebody of his stature, it's going to cost a lot, and then it's going to change the makeup of a team. And doing that in the middle of the season when now there's no pathway to get free agents or to do other moves to make your team better, it doesn't serve a good purpose. And so that's why he was against going to Golden State. There were other reasons, but that was one of the reasons that he mentioned. And so you'd have to think that that line of thinking exists here as well. And there's also part of this where the Suns clearly don't like what they're getting. That is the crux of all of this is the Suns. Whether they thought they were going to get more or they're getting lowballed, the Suns do not like the current offers that are in front of them. Or else a deal would be done by now. This would be done and over with. So tomorrow by the leftovers has been our...
I can't see it happen.
I cannot see us talking about this tomorrow.
I'm really getting nervous it won't happen before the draft.
And then because he's already doing it, who's just waiting. He's just in the bushes. John is just ready to... He keeps thinking that on like Monday of next week, I'm just going to all of a sudden have this big declaration of, John, I'm with you. Kevin Durant's on the Suns next season. Although I will say... We're a lot of people talking about him coming back next season, and I don't like it. I went on my major rant yesterday about why that would be a mistake.
And it's just because they're not getting the return they want, and there's this feeling that if they don't get the return they want, because it seems like the Suns have kind of held steady, which is the right thing to do, don't match that offer until you really have to. We're both on the record saying you probably have to have this done by the time the draft starts on Wednesday. But until then, they can kind of hold steady. And if they're not willing to lose the return that they want, stay on your heels.
It is a major game of chicken right now between the two sides. It is a major game of who blinks first. Will the Suns blink and accept an offer that they're not in love with, or will something happen that changes the demand side of this equation?
At the end of the day, I think the Suns will take a return that they don't love.
I don't know, because I'm not
the alignment.
I'm not part of the alignment, so I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know exactly what is.
By the way, speaking of an alignment drop, did you see the Red Sox general manager said
Sam Kennedy? Yeah,
they weren't aligned.
Yeah, he said that after they traded Devers. Brian Windhorst used alignment the other day when talking to ESPN Cleveland.
I don't know if I'm listening for it more now.
Or if people are getting in on the joke. I don't know. I think it's more, we're just more, like the word just now sticks out to us. That anytime somebody says align or alignment or aligned, like our ears just perk up and we're just like, oh boy, here we go again. Like I think because we've done
the alignment
this on the show so many times, I think we are just waiting. Like our ears just perk up when we hear that word. Coming up on the other side of the break, your phone calls 480-864-1060. We've also got you over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. Let's get back into some baseball. Are we ignoring the warning signs about the Arizona Diamondbacks? I'll tell you what those warning signs are next. It's the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
Ready to tackle each morning with the best sports information coming at you?
I'm going to take a logical approach.
Get that weekday mornings on KDUS AM 1060 from 6 to 9 a.m. with the Dan Patrick Show. Dan Patrick, the Danettes, sports icons, sports legends, celebrities, poll questions. The Dan Patrick Show has it all.
It's a crapshoot.
Be sure to lock your dials to AM 1060 or 100.7 HD2 from 6 to 9 a.m. Mornings just got better.
This story is about us.
Empty slogans and cute jingles. Lawyers love to act like they care. Do they back it up? Hi, I'm Mark Breyer.
And I'm Alexis Breyer. We're the husband and wife law team. One study found that half of all clients were unhappy with the lawyer they hired. The number one complaint, a total lack of communication.
We take client happiness seriously. That's why we survey all our clients and know that over 97% are happy. Do your research. Call the husband and wife law team first.
At Shane Company, we know getting engaged is a big decision. But once you know, you know. That's the way our customers feel when they choose a Shane Company engagement ring. They walk into a warm welcome and walk out with their dream ring, knowing they got it right. For almost 100 years, we've been offering personalized shopping experiences. And we're in it way past the honeymoon, with a free lifetime warranty that includes the center stone, cleanings, repairs, and resizing for life. Shop with us at shaneco.com or at your neighborhood store. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Phoenix, are you ready to ascend? Bring me the horizon. USA Ascension Program Part 1.
Every sky will build, my friend.
Taking over Footprint Center, October 2nd, with special guest
Crawling from hell.
Motionless in White, The Plot in You, and Amira El Fiki. On sale now at livenation.com. Bring me the horizon. Presented by the Big Red Radio.
Pool season is coming in hot. Before you make a splash, assign a water watcher to help keep kids safe. A water watcher is a capable adult who knows how to swim and perform CPR in case of emergency. Make sure they put away any distractions and actively monitor everyone in the group while around water. After everyone is done swimming, water watchers should scan the bottom of the pool and close and lock the pool gate behind them. Ready for more water safety tips? Visit srp.net/pool.
If you're trying to get through your daily activities and you're noticing you can't because you're focusing more on your pain than being able to enjoy the moment, those are the patients that we're looking to treat because we can make a difference.
That's Dr. Ashley Caravelli, a medical director for QC Kinetics.
What we're doing at QC Kinetics is offering treatments that help with joint preservation. We use cutting-edge technology in our in-house lab to harness your body's natural healing powers and target the areas where you need them the most.
These are regenerative, non-surgical treatments, and QC Kinetics is the nation's leader, delivering lasting relief to tens of thousands of patients.
What we do know is that the sooner we start treatment, the sooner you'll see relief.
So don't wait another minute. See if you're a good candidate for these non-surgical treatments for joint pain. The consultation is completely free.
Call QC Kinetics, 602-691-6641. That's 602-691-6641. 602-691-6641.
Join in on the Sports Zoo on your ride home from work with Dave Rooster Bierstein. Join Rooster as he lays down what's happening around sports and makes it clear what's on his mind. Oh my. Catch the day's craziest stories and some of the latest numbers from the sports books across the valley. The Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a wild option.
Weekdays 5 to 6 p.m. on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Buy or sell coming up about 10 minutes from now. Diamondbacks get underway at the top of the hour, trying to avoid getting swept by the Toronto Blue Jays before starting a 9-game stretch against some of the worst teams in Major League Baseball. Marlins, Rockies, White Sox, all on the schedule coming up for the Diamondbacks. I said Pirates because I'm looking at the National League wild card standings, and the Pirates are towards the bottom. But that's not one of the 3 teams coming up for the Diamondbacks after they finish up with Toronto. But I am wondering if we are ignoring the warning signs. And there is the obvious warning signs that name me the last team that made the playoffs that had a bullpen this bad, a bullpen this all over the place, a bullpen with this many meltdowns, a bullpen that no lead is safe with. I can't think of a team that had this many questions. This team right now does not have a 7th inning guy, doesn't have an 8th inning guy, and does not have a closer. I can't tell you the last time a team won enough games, and we think it's going to be close to the 90 win mark in the National League. I can't tell you the last time a team won 90 games in which they did not have a 7th, 8th, or 9th inning guy that they could reliably, consistently go to. It just doesn't happen. So that's the obvious warning sign. That is the warning sign that every single day you see. How about this as a warning sign? Producer Evan, I have a question for you. I'm putting you a little bit on the spot here. You don't know that this question is coming. You don't even know what I'm looking for as an answer. But of the teams that are the non-division leaders in the National League, so we're just looking at all of the teams that are in the wild card race in the National League. Who do you think of those teams have scored the most runs? Again, non-division winners. So the Cubs we put to the side, the Dodgers we put to the side, the Mets we put to the side. Take those 3 teams, put them to the side. Everybody else in the National League. Who do you think of those teams have scored the most runs?
I think it's in no particular order.
No, I
want the order.
I want a particular order.
I think Phillies are probably the first.
Philly, number 2, 346 runs scored so far this season.
I think the D-backs are 1.
The D-backs are number 1 at 366 runs scored so far this season. So offensively, out of all of the wild card teams, they scored more runs than Philly. They've scored more runs than San Diego. They've scored more runs than San Francisco, St. Louis, Cincinnati, everybody else, Atlanta, everybody else that is competing for a wild card spot. The Diamondbacks have scored more runs than all of those teams.
What about runs against?
And this is where the warning sign should be just blaring from the mountaintops. The Diamondbacks are 3rd from the bottom in runs allowed. The only 2 teams that have allowed more runs in the National League, the wild card race, the Miami Marlins and the Colorado Rockies. There is the warning sign. This team has a negative 13 run differential. There are 4 teams in the wild card race right now, not eliminated yet, that have a negative run differential. The Pittsburgh Pirates at negative 58, the Washington Nationals at negative 71, the Miami Marlins at negative 88, the Colorado Rockies at negative 195, and the Arizona Diamondbacks at a negative 13 run differential. This team scores more than any other team competing for a wild card spot right now. But they give up as many runs as the worst teams in the National League. There's the answer. There it is for all of you. And I'm not reinventing the wheel here, but I'm pointing at one specific statistic that tells you this team has problems. There are warning signs here that we are ignoring. We try to convince ourselves, just score more runs. We try to convince ourselves, just get more length from your starting rotation. The numbers are telling you they're not doing that. And I don't know how they're going to start doing that because, by the way, they also have one starter we trust right now. How about that as a warning sign? Name me the last time a rotation made the playoffs where you only trusted one of the 5 starters. We don't trust Brandon Pfaadt yet. 2 great starts. 2 okay starts.
Solid.
2 solid starts his last time out. Thank you for walking me back there. 2 solid starts his last time out. I need more than that. Eduardo Rodriguez had 2 good starts after coming back from the injury list. Wasn't great yesterday. Command issues. High pitch counts. Working in and out of trouble. Zach Allen. Who knows what you're going to get from Zach Allen. Ryan Nelson. I thought we were going to get second half Ryan Nelson. I thought we were going to get the Ryan Nelson that he was when he was a spot starter earlier this year. It's been a mixed bag since he's officially taken a rotation spot. You have a starting pitching staff that you trust one guy in on every 5 days. You have a bullpen that just gives up runs at a bearable clip.
It's astounding.
It is not sustainable to give up runs at that. And you expect at some point we talk about regression to the mean. You expect a progression to the mean. You expect some positive luck to go their way. It's not coming. It's not happening. And you give up more runs than everybody else in the National League except the Miami Marlins and the Colorado Rockies. You are not going to win enough baseball games that way.
Think about the situation those two teams are in. Think about the hopes that were circled for the Diamondbacks coming into the season, where you thought the Marlins were, where you thought the Rockies were. I mean, that is as bad of a statistic as I have ever seen for a baseball team that is fighting for a wild card spot.
I would argue they're lucky to be only 3 games out of a playoff spot right now.
I don't think it's an argument. I think they just, period, are extremely lucky. I mean, they have lost some of the worst games I have ever seen this year.
I mean, they've lost, we had this stat earlier in the season. They have not added to the list since then. They've lost 3 games in which they've scored 11 runs. You cannot lose those games. You cannot win enough games in the National League to make the playoffs if you don't trust more than one guy in your starting rotation. If you don't have a 7th, 8th, and 9th inning guy, all 3 of those spots are holes. Now, I know that potentially they could get AJ Puck back, although they shut him down and he's visiting with Dr. Neil Elitrosh today. So you can't put all your eggs in that basket.
I mean, pretty much you can put most of your eggs in the it's over basket for AJ Puck once he goes to see Elitrosh.
Well, considering he's already been to Neil Elitrosh once, and we've seen the way the Diamondbacks pitcher injury luck has gone this season. The warning signs are all there. The injuries are almost going to be too much to overcome. If not, we're already at a point where they're too much to overcome. The offense is one of the top lineups in all of baseball, and it's still not good enough to keep them hovering around 500. John has a comment over on the YouTube live stream. It says, the D-backs last week, let's be buyers. Today, well, maybe we're sellers. Again, their only consistent quality is their inconsistency. A team will win 84 games and miss the playoffs. I don't think this team is going to win 84 games. I think we have 2 paths in front of us. This team gets hot, and then they're buyers at the deadline, and we're watching a team that's winning towards the upper echelon, 89, 90, above 90 games, and they're making the playoffs. Or this thing completely crashes down, they sell, and 84 wins would be the shock of all shocks.
84 wins, to me, is almost an impossible outcome for this team.
Not happening.
Because they're either major sellers. If they're sellers, you sell 4 starters.
You're selling your starting third baseman. You're selling your starting first baseman. You're selling 2 starters.
Probably Shelby Miller.
You're selling a reliever. Yeah, I mean, you're not winning 84 games at that point. So,
no, I mean, if they sell, they're a 75-win baseball team.
Yeah, it's the rest of summer, August and September are not going to be fun here on the program. Well, we're going to make it fun because it's football season. But the everyday,
we got high hopes for the Cardinals.
I mean, it's going to be very football centric if that's the way the deadline goes for this team. 480-864-1060, the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. It is buy or sell when we come back. Producer Evans got 5 takes, either buying or selling those takes. We'll do it next. It's the lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
Hey listeners, Vince DeLisio from the Varsity Sports Show. Tune in Saturday morning for another fun summertime event. We'll travel around the country and the world this week as we hear from some of our newest fall interns. Plus, my old friend Campo Verde Athletic Director Max Ragsdale checks in from a family vacation in Laughlin, Nevada. Start your weekend off with a smile with the Varsity Sports Show Saturday morning from 9 to 11 on AM 1060 KDUS, Arizona.
Nitro Circus is back with the all-new Off the Rails Tour. World-class daredevils and FMX, BMX, skate, scooter, and more. Jaw-dropping stunts, high-flying tricks, and never-been-done showdowns. Friday, December 5th, Desert Diamond Arena. Visit Ticketmaster.com.
Stars are shining down on Goldberg and Osborne. The Eagle has more than 2,200 5-star Google reviews from across Arizona. Like these.
They go that extra mile to let you know they care. A wonderful experience.
They treat their clients like family, and their professionalism is the best in the business.
They made sure I got a great offer. Like a bulldog, they fought for me.
Well said, everyone. After any accident, remember, the bird is the word. Visit Goldberg and Osborne at 1-800-THEEAGLE.com.
In Las Vegas, live music doesn't just start. It hits different. The biggest names in music will be taking the stage. Beyoncé, Shakira, New Kids on the Block, Pitbull, Lionel Richie, Kenny Chesney, Motley Crue, Janet Jackson, Keisha Cole, Brad Paisley, Kelly Clarkson, The Weeknd, live in Vegas. Go to visitlasvegas.com to see the full summer lineup.
Real Stories with Hellsberg.
After we met and we started dating, Nancy and I lived 150 miles apart, and I would drive my old jalopy car, and it was roughly a 3-hour distance. It took 3 years I drove across that state back and forth dating her every weekend.
Persistence.
And I would have never stopped. I had a lot of energy back then, 36 years ago.
At Hellsberg, find the engagement ring worthy of your story. Designed with the love, care, and craft it deserves. Visit a Hellsberg store or hellsberg.com.
Fulton Homes is bringing legendary Fulton quality back to the West Valley. Explore 4 exceptional West Valley locations with more standard features and thousands of ways to personalize your home. Find out why people buy Fulton Homes over and over again. Fulton Homes, you're proud to own, we're proud to build.
The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alicio is your hub for everything high school and college sports. Join Vince and friends as they give you the full picture on student athletes and where they're heading. Live interviews with coaches across the valley.
Asking some of the tough questions.
Varsity recaps and in-depth interviews with tomorrow's sports stars. The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alicio. Live every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. Here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Back here on the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060. We wrap up hour number 1 of the show. Diamondbacks getting underway here in about 10 minutes or so. We'll keep everybody updated on all of that. It's a little buy or sell to close up hour number 1 here of the show. Producer Evan has 5 takes, and I'm either buying or selling those takes.
We will start with that D-backs game coming up in 10 minutes. Today's Diamondbacks game is a must-win.
I cannot tell you how much I hate you for putting this on buy or sell. Is today a must-win? No, today is not a must-win. I'm selling this.
I'm going to buy it for you. I would like to jump in, volunteer here.
No.
I'm going to buy it for you.
No,
I'm
am
the
not.
guy behind you in the grocery line. Going to buy that for you.
No, I am. No, wouldn't it be you're the guy in front of me paying for my groceries behind me? Isn't that how that would work?
Yep. Yeah.
You're behind me. I'm already.
Yeah, I'm the guy in the drive-thru who's like, let me make sure the guy behind me has a great day today and cover his food.
I am going to sell this take because I need to be intellectually consistent with our audience, our great audience, our lovely audience, our growing audience. I have long had the belief that nothing is a must-win until you are facing elimination. Until if you lose this game, that means your season is over. I will not throw the must-win label on a game if it does not have those type of stakes attached to it. So no, today is not a must-win. I'd really like them to win today, though. Let me just say that. I'd feel a lot better about the state of affairs of this team if they did not get swept. Tomorrow's show would start a lot more positively if the Diamondbacks
could salvage a series.
If they could salvage a win here to not get swept. I'd really like them to win. They don't have to win, but I'd really like to see it.
Ken Kendrick will leave the Diamondbacks trade deadline entirely up to Mike Hazen.
Bye. I believe in the things that Kendrick has said in the past. I believe that there is and this is potentially the most important thing that an owner could have towards any member of the front office. But I think there is a great deal of respect from Ken Kendrick to Mike Hazen for his baseball pedigree, his baseball knowledge, the way he has built this organization in the past, the way he built this team, the way he's going to build future teams. And I believe that respect that Ken Kendrick has for Mike Hazen allows him to be okay with Mike making the baseball decisions. And obviously when it comes to spending big money like on a Corbin Burns or a Jordan Montgomery or any of those big contracts, yes, you obviously are going to loop in the owner and you're going to have those big conversations. But I believe that Ken Kendrick is going to let Mike Hazen drive the bus here on whether or not this team is a buyer or a seller at the deadline. And we're trending towards the sell button anyway. But yes.
Speaking of trades, we've talked a lot about Kevin Durant. But
Still not traded. 11:54 on Thursday. Still Kevin Durant, member of the Phoenix Suns.
So officially, by the way, we have 25 hours and 6 minutes. No. So, I said buy the leftovers.
So buy the leftovers.
So I have
24 hours from now. This is going to be great. We're going to do math live on the radio. So 24 hours from today would be Friday's edition of the show at 11:54. So then we'll add 6 minutes, and then you have about 45 minutes. So 24 hours and 51 minutes from now is when you said that Kevin Durant will be traded by.
Yeah.
Look at us. That was great math.
That was great
on
math.
the fly.
Really good.
I didn't stumble. I didn't doubt myself. I don't know if I'm right, but I believe in what I said. I
feel good about the number.
I believe that it's 24 hours and now 50 minutes from now.
Perfect.
I don't think it's happening.
I'm trusting that. If the Suns are out of it by next year's trade deadline or after the season, Devin Booker could be moved.
This franchise has not made a Kevin Durant trade. We have not broken down the NBA draft. We have not broken down Kevin Durant, what the return is, and you already want me to go on the record.
Well, I figured everybody's heard about the Kevin Durant
I understand
trade.
that. You want me on the record in June, buying or selling what's going to happen with Devin Booker? I'm going to sell this just because I'm going to play the field on this one. Devin Booker's not going anywhere. I know everybody wants to run him out of town for whatever reason. He's not going anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. He's not going anywhere. Devin Booker is going to be on this team next season. He's going to be on this team the year after that. Devin Booker is going to be here. How about that for a buy or sell? Devin Booker is going to sign an extension here later on this summer and is going to be here for the length of that extension.
So you're really selling.
I'm selling, yes.
Okay. I think we're at a 2-1 here. No, I bought the other one for you.
Yes, you bought something on my behalf, yes.
So it is a 2-1 on buy to sell here. We talked about phase 2 of the Kevin Durant trade. Phase 3 of Marvel is the best movies.
So I did joke when we brought this up earlier that I didn't realize we were living through the Marvel Cinematic Universe talking about phases of the Kevin Durant trade circus. Phase 3, the best phase of the Marvel movies. Now, phase 3 includes both Avengers, Endgame, and Infinity War, correct?
Yeah.
Does it also include the greatest Spider-Man movie in the history of Spider-Man movies, or is that a phase 4 movie?
I think that's technically phase 4.
See, if it had that in there, I would buy. No, because those two Avengers movies are the best movies.
I think you have to buy
I'm buying
of those two Avengers movies.
No, I'm buying because I love those two movies.
Phase 1, underrated. The original Captain America, the original Iron Man.
Oh, the original Iron Man is a classic.
Yeah, really a classic.
Phase
Robert
2?
Downey Jr. as Tony Stark is one of the best castings in the history of film.
And now we're going to get him to Doctor Doom.
Yeah, which I still really won't understand. I always like to throw one random one at you.
Wait a minute. I wasn't done gushing
sorry.
about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Phases 1, 2, 3, and part of 4 were good. We've hit a little bit of a lull right now.
I liked their newest movie, Thunderbolts. I don't think you've gone.
I have not seen it yet. I will see it, but Marvel, we're
flatlining.
We're in a little bit of a lull. Our championship window was really good, and we won a couple titles. Now we're rebuilding a little bit. We're in the rebuild cycle,
and hopefully they can hit that Warriors, where the Warriors snuck one a couple years later.
I think that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to sneak another championship when nobody's looking. Hopefully, Marvel's able to pull it off.
Always like to throw a random one at you. There's a real chance the Pirates could actually trade Paul Skeens at the deadline or in the offseason.
Oh, see, you had me until you added that they could trade him in the offseason next year, because that's where it's more likely to happen. It's more likely that they play through this season and they realize where they're at, and they realize that Paul Skeens is not going to re-sign here unless we pay him a ton of money, and we're the Pittsburgh Pirates, so we don't pay people a ton of money. And we need to get something for him, and then they trade him. I don't think they move him at the deadline. I think they move him in the offseason when, guess what? All 29 teams are involved at that point. I think all 29 teams would be involved at the deadline, but the buyers at the deadline would be more enticed to go and push the chips all in. You're going to get way more suitors. The demand on Paul Skeens in the offseason would be, I don't think we've seen anything like it.
And they need way more help than just a pitcher. Like, they need 5-6 pieces.
They need a new owner.
And you could get multiple. that as well.
They need a new owner who will spend money.
Which is most important.
Doesn't matter what pieces you get back for Paul Skeens.
This is the organization that's like, we got to get back to 2012 and 2013 when they were wild card teams.
How about we set our sights a little bit higher than that? Hour number 1 of the program in the books. Hour number 2 right around the corner. Appreciate you joining us. It's the lunch break. KDUS AM 1060.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
When you get hurt, you don't want to end up on the injured list. You want to get back in the game stronger than ever. At Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm, we fight for you, making sure big insurance doesn't throw you a curveball. With over $25 billion recovered, we're the home run hitters you need.
This is way out there and gone.
Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Proud sponsor of the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Ghost World Tour 2025. Ghost, theatrical, heavy metal, arena rock. August 11th, Footprint Center. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Don't miss Ghost.
Hi, Luis Gonzalez here. Want to bet? Feel the thrill of Casino Arizona with 1,400 of the hottest slots and nonstop table game action. We make winners, no experience necessary. Join us for the best bingo in the valley with daily sessions. Indulge in all-you-can-eat Eagles Buffet or enjoying fine dining experience at the award-winning Choya Steakhouse. Enjoy top-notch local entertainment, tribute bands, and viewing parties at CAZ Sports Bar, just off the 101 in McKellips. Casino Arizona, uniquely Arizona.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Serving in the military requires great sacrifices, not just for one's country, but also for one's family. Not surprisingly, divorce for soldiers is especially difficult, and it raises a number of challenges that are peculiar to military divorce, things such as deployments, relocation, retirement benefits. These issues can be complicated, and the lawyer you choose needs to be equipped to handle them. So if you're a soldier facing such challenges, go to CordellCordell.com.
Every summer, across the valley, hundreds of our homeless neighbors die because of the heat. This is tragic, and it is preventable. None of us can stop the heat, but together we can save lives. With incredible partners like you, Phoenix Rescue Mission is able to provide life-saving water and critical care to our neighbors in need. Join us this summer and make a difference. Learn more at phoenixrescuemission.org/code red.
Summertime savings are heating up at Mark Mazda in Scottsdale.
Right now, we have 1.9% financing on some of our most popular models, like the 2025 Mazda CX-70.
The name to remember? Mark Mazda. Mark Mazda. 36-month term on credit plus $998.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
12 o'clock hour of the lunch break. Appreciate you joining us here on the Thursday edition of the show. Chris Schubert with you. Producer Evan behind the glass taking your phone calls. 480-864-1060 here on a Thursday. And I don't know if many of you are sick and tired of all the Kevin Durant discourse. And normally by this point of a story, I would be with you. I would be kind of tired of it. We're not getting any new news at this point. We find ourselves in the same spot we were at yesterday, which is basically the same spot it was the day before. When we started this week of shows on Monday, honestly, nothing's really changed since Monday. Yet I find myself continuing to come back to this story because I just love all of the different angles. And to be honest with all of you, one of the main reasons why I keep coming back to this story is because this is a huge moment for Matt Ishbia and Brian Gregory. And so I am enthralled by how they are conducting themselves in this trade situation. I am enthralled with how a inexperienced first-time GM is maneuvering through what is becoming a very tough situation. So I keep coming back to this story, and I keep coming back to where the Suns are going to end up in all of this. And today I've come to the place where I think this team needs the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Minnesota Timberwolves are the key to all of this for the Phoenix Suns. It is Minnesota or bust for Matt Ishbia, Brian Gregory, and the Phoenix Suns. Not because Minnesota has all of the assets that I would want back, although they have a pretty compelling offer, and it may be the best one out there right now. But because their involvement, Minnesota's involvement in all of this, changes the math. It changes the equation. Minnesota being involved, Minnesota wanting to trade for KD, does add a little pressure on Miami. It does add a little pressure on San Antonio. It adds a little bit of pressure on Houston. It adds pressure to those teams if they, for whatever reason, start to get worried that he's going to go to Minnesota, that he is going to change his mind and is going to pick Minnesota over those teams. Now, Shams Charania was on Pat McAfee today, and he said the following, quote, "It's a game of chicken right now. The Rockets, Heat, and Timberwolves are literally 1 or 2 pieces away from getting a deal done," end quote. Now, that falls into the bucket of, well, yes, thanks, Shams. You're not reporting anything there. Of course, if any of those teams, if any team meets the Suns' asking price, they're going to make the deal. So yes, Houston, Miami, and Minnesota are all 1 or 2 pieces away because they're not including the piece that the Suns want. If they did, the Suns would make the trade call. You think the Suns enjoy this? They cannot get on with the rest of their offseason. They're planning for a draft in which they may or may not have additional picks in said draft class. They don't know what their roster is going to look like come free agency until they get this KD deal done. But I find it interesting that the Rockets, the Heat, and the Timberwolves are mentioned as being 1 or 2 pieces away. San Antonio, the team we know that KD wants to play for above the rest, that if he was power ranking Houston, Miami, and San Antonio, that he would put the Spurs at the top. They're not listed here. They're not 1 or 2 pieces away. So they're not anywhere close to meeting what the Suns are asking for. So this gives us a little bit more context. Again, nothing's changed. We know the team's involved. We know where it stands. We know that the Suns don't like the offers that they're getting. But we do know this. Minnesota, Miami, and Houston are a lot closer than San Antonio. Minnesota, Houston, and Miami just need the sweetener. And the Suns aren't getting the sweetener from Houston and Miami because they don't feel like they need to add the sweetener because of the pressure that is on the Suns to get this deal done. And Minnesota doesn't need to add the sweetener because they're not sure if they want to do this if KD doesn't want to go there. And so that's why all roads lead back to Minnesota. Because if Minnesota chooses to say, you know what, screw it, we're going to do this anyway. We're going to give the Suns exactly what they want. We're going to trade for KD, and we're going to figure it out. He's going to be here with Anthony Edwards. We're still going to have either Rudy Gobert or Julius Randle, and we're going to just put together a team. We like a lot of our young pieces. We're going to go for it. If they decide to do that, does it make Houston worry a little bit? Does Houston now all of a sudden get a little more antsy, a little more desperate? Does Miami now all of a sudden put the piece into the deal that they have been unwilling to put into the deal because they are, of all of these teams, the most desperate to try to put together a contender in the East? Because the East, as we have discussed here on the show in the past, is wide open. Boston's not going to be Boston next year. What is Indiana going to be post this finals run? What are the Knicks going to look like with a new coach? What is Milwaukee going to look like with no Dame and Giannis? Is he in or is he out? Orlando is telling you that they think there's an opportunity here. They think the door is open. So Miami probably, Pat Riley probably also sees that opportunity. But you can't force desperation to another level. Desperation has to just happen. And the desperation for Houston or Miami doesn't enter the equation until Minnesota changes their mind or KD changes his mind about Minnesota.
If you get a report that Kevin Durant is willing to play in Minnesota, imagine what it would do. It would start the bidding war that we have long wanted and long discussed about how this could go down. Best case scenario for the Suns. You need Minnesota in. If Minnesota is in and Kevin Durant is willing to go there and they're willing to throw in a sweetener, you could see Houston step in. But more importantly, I think you could see Miami step in. And yesterday, you said and talked about if you think you're going to push over Pat Riley and win a staring contest with the Miami Heat.
Not happening.
It's not happening. You are mistaken on how that goes. But if they feel like this is their time in the East because it's going to be the weakest this conference has been and feels like my lifetime, why not throw a sweetener in if Minnesota's going to up their offer? Right now, they're in a staring contest that they don't have to move it. But one little thing could shift their mentality and how they want to handle it, and then we'll see what Houston does on top of that.
I think we find ourselves at a point where I think it's one of three things. Maybe we can talk this out and see if there's any more that we want to add to the list. We're kind of in a lull right now. And I think the three things that change this lull. One is the Suns decide to just take one of these offers. I don't know how likely that is, but that's one thing that changes this. The Suns they look themselves in the mirror and they say, you know what, we're not getting what we think we're going to be able to get here. This is too much chaos. The draft's right around the corner. We've got other things to focus on. We just got to get a deal done and move on. That's option one where this lull gets broken. Two is something gets leaked about Kevin Durant's preferences, meaning he's changing his preferences. He's adding a team to the list. He's taking a team away from the list. And that could be good or bad for the Suns because he could get to the place of, I only want to go to San Antonio. Then what? Now you have zero leverage. San Antonio is going to say, this is what we're offering you. If you don't want to do it, good luck finding somebody else who wants to trade for Kevin Durant when he said that he only wants to play for us. So that's the bad way that it goes. The good way is he adds Minnesota to the list. So that's the second thing that happens here that changes this. Or the third thing is, and again, I can't see a world where this happens. One of these teams decides, you know what? We're going to get involved. And we don't care that we're not on KD's list. We think KD makes us better. We think KD puts us over the top. And they enter the sweepstakes. Because then I think Houston has to react to that. I think Miami has to react to that. Minnesota has to react to that. San Antonio has to react to that. Those are the three ways I see things changing. Because other than that, we're going to be stuck in this spot.
Whatever happens will set off a chain reaction.
Let me just say this. The Suns can't just sit around and just hope that teams change their offers. That's the one thing that's not going to happen is Matt Ishbia and Brian Gregory sitting back, kicking their feet up, just waiting for the phone to ring. That's not what's going to spark something here.
A chain reaction will occur, but you need to set it off. You need to do something to make that first move happen, and then it's a list of events that could happen after that. And I'm not saying it's going to go down exactly like we've said it will. Not saying Houston is certainly going to up their offer or Miami is certainly going to up their offer. But there is definitely one team who is sitting on this, who is waiting for the Suns to either fall into a trap or for a team to up their offer, and they will have to respond because desperation will eventually hit one of these teams to get a deal done.
Or
is it the Suns?
Right.
Or is it one of these five teams that need or want Kevin Durant?
And if we were betting right now, as things stand, I fear the desperation hitting the Suns more than I see it hitting one of these other teams. Because again, we know where things are at right now. These teams have made offers. The Suns don't like the offers. They've probably tried to counter some of these offers. Those teams have said, get lost. And so now the Suns are left with two choices. They can either take the offer that's in front of them that they don't like, or they can wait for something to spark some change. It can spark change in a good way or a bad way, like we said. But they can wait for chaos to enter the equation. What they cannot do is just sit back and wait and just expect that, oh, Houston's going to just change their mind. Houston's going to wake up today and say, you know what? On second thought, we are going to add that piece in with nothing happening behind the scenes to change their mind.
That's exactly what I was saying. What would lead Houston to wake up tomorrow morning and say, we'll throw in a sweetener?
Nothing. They need to be pushed, right? Sham said that all these teams are one or two pieces away from getting a deal done. Yes, obviously, because if they had the right deal in place, it would have been done already. But guess what? There's nothing pushing those teams right now to add that one or two pieces in.
Also, one or two pieces feels far. Like, that doesn't feel that close.
It depends on what the one or two pieces is.
Two pieces feels far.
If it's
one, okay.
Yeah, if it's one, you're deciding on whether or not you want to give up the.
We talked about them only getting 3 or 4 pieces for Kevin Durant. If you're 2 off, what are they offering?
I, at the beginning of all of this, said that the ideal return for Kevin Durant would be a couple of draft picks. Like I said, 2. A player with some potential, some untapped potential, and an established player for your starting lineup.
So that's 4 pieces. If they're 2 pieces off. I know we don't know what the Suns asking price is.
We're not getting the 4 pieces that I thought that they were getting.
No.
Like that dream is off the table. The Suns may get 1 piece that they like, 2 pieces at most that actually help them. That's where I think things sit right now. That's where I think we are at past 12 o'clock on a Thursday, inside 25 hours or so of when we thought this was going to get done.
24 hours and 29 minutes.
That math is excellent. I couldn't do that math just quickly like that. But yes, we both thought this deal would be done by the time the leftovers started on Friday. I would like to change my answer. That is not happening.
I was confident.
It was the lock of the century. All of the reporting with the teams involved and that.
And that was the one that is local and national. Is
right.
That this deal will be done by the end of the week.
Right. You had 2 different people. One here in town. Everybody knows who this is. Who said it's going to get done next week. All right. Well, when that person says something, I tend to believe him. And then you have national people saying that it might happen even quicker than that. So Friday was a lock. Not a lock anymore. Not a lock. Unlock. I'm unlocking the prediction. Not happening. 480-864-1060, the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. We've also got you over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. We spent hour number 1 telling you about all the warning signs surrounding the Arizona Diamondbacks. But I do have a question for you. Do the Diamondbacks have to make a move right now? That's next. The lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
James Out West, your home for sports down here in the desert. Join James and Pat the Stat Guy as they recap the weekend and dive deep into the numbers for the NFL, NBA, college sports, and more.
That's 5 seasons of 1,200 yards.
Player stats, team numbers, and contracts are just the start of the discussion for James and Pat.
He started 815 career games. He threw 749 complete games.
There's no hiding when it comes to stats. It's James Out West every Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m. right here on KTUS AM 1060 and on the KTUS 1060 app.
Celebrate Independence Day with your hometown professional soccer club. Phoenix Rising takes on Lexington SC on Friday, July 4th at 7:30 p.m. in a special military appreciation match. A night to honor those who serve and turn up the heat on the pitch. Fans will receive limited edition of Phoenix Rising sunglasses at the gate. And don't miss the debut of the club's Americana merchandise line, including a patriotic training top. Plus, enjoy $1 beers all match long, perfect for a summer night under the lights. Tickets start at just $15. Grab yours now at phxrisingfc.com.
Brian Adams, Roll with the Punches Tour 2025. A night full of hits, live at PHX Arena, Saturday, November 15th. With special guest Pat Benatar and Neil Giraldo. Get tickets now at LiveNation.com.
Looking to sell your home? Hi, I'm Andrew the Home Buyer, and I love making it easy to sell your house. I'll personally come and give you a cash offer the same day we meet, and I'll beat any other offer. It really is that easy to sell your home, and no need to clean or fix anything. I'll buy it in as-is condition. Call me, Andrew the Home Buyer, today to get your same-day cash offer. Visit AndrewTheHomebuyer.com.
Hi, I'm Kamiko, the founder of Miko's Hot Chicken. When we started our family restaurant, we were also raising a family. But let me tell you, it wasn't easy. Our Chase Inc. card was there to reward us on all of our business needs. Now we have a thriving location, and we're hungry for more.
With the Chase Inc. Business Unlimited card, you can earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for Business. Make more with yours. Real business owners compensated for their participation. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. The Lakers have never lacked star power, but now they've got a new kind of muscle. Financial. The Buss family has reportedly reached an agreement to sell majority ownership of the Lakers to billionaire Mark Walter for a jaw-dropping $10 billion. Jeannie Buss will continue her role as team governor, but make no mistake, if Walter brings his Dodger playbook to the hardwood, expect some changes in L.A. Walter's ownership of the Dodgers has been defined by one thing: spending smart, spending often. The Dodgers have been a modern sports powerhouse by building elite infrastructure, investing heavily in scouting and analytics, and yes, spending on big stars. In an NBA era defined by the luxury tax, second aprons, that kind of deep-pocketed ownership is a weapon. Golden State proved that. For years, the Warriors spent their way to a dynasty. Walter could give the Lakers that same edge. Right now, there's a whole new chapter, one where cash is king and contention is expected. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. If you played pickleball in regular sneakers, you know you can pay the price. They don't cut it. And Todd found this out the hard way. We have this great sponsor, Tyrell. They make the best pickleball shoes. So one day, Todd is playing pickleball, and he forgot his Tyrell pickleball shoes. Well, you know what happened? He got hurt. He was playing in some fancy, different shoes that aren't meant for pickleball, and he learned a lesson. Tyrell has everything you need to keep your feet cool. They're tough. They're lightweight. They're so solid on your feet, and you're going to wear and tear on the court, and they're ready to go. Every detail is built to help you play better. Tyrell pickleball shoes. If you want to play longer, feel better, and stop sliding around in those old sneakers, go to TyrellPickleball.com. You can look like a pro. You can play like a pro. It's Tyrell pickleball shoes. You spell it Tyrol. Tyrell pickleball shoes, the best pickleball shoes, purpose-built for pickleball.
Attention all clones. The Jim Rome Show is here for you every day here on KDUS AM 1060.
Lots to get done. Welcome to the program.
Listen in as Rome dives into the biggest sports headlines of the day. From final scores, player contracts and trades, team prospects, and even a spicy take or two. The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. every weekday here on KDUS AM 1060.
That's the trick.
Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Make sure you download the KDUS AM 1060 app, your way to take us on the go. Listen to us not just when you're in your car or in front of your computer. You can take us and everything going on here on KDUS AM 1060 with you. It's your one-stop shop. Download the KDUS AM 1060 app today, wherever you get your apps. The Diamondbacks are underway in Toronto for the finale of their 3-game series with the Blue Jays before their 9-game stretch against some weaker opponents is in front of them. We're hoping that they can salvage the finale of this series and not get swept by Toronto. And things are underway there. It is the top of the second inning. Looks like the Diamondbacks just took a 2-0 lead after a Eugenio Suarez home run. So off to a good start there. We'll keep you updated on that as the show progresses. The Diamondbacks being buyers or sellers at the trade deadline. I think it is a hot button issue right now. I think depending on the day, depending on how the team has played as of late, you can go back and forth. I think when they were sweeping the Braves and sweeping the Mariners and taking 2 out of 3 from the Padres, we were dreaming of them being back in the NL, a wild card conversation, and firmly getting themselves into being buyers at the deadline. Then you have sweeps by Cincinnati against you, losing at least 2 out of 3 to Toronto and hovering around 500, never being able to put together that rally, having a negative run differential, scoring the most runs out of any of the wild card teams, but giving up the 3rd most runs among the wild card teams. It just paints a picture of, is this team ever going to sustain a run strong enough to firmly get themselves in the mix? And right now, they sit just 3 games back. I know it feels insurmountable at times what they have to overcome, but they are only 3 games back of the final wild card spot. So it's not all doom and gloom. But the case, the argument that I want to make to all of you is not one that I haven't made in the past. I have, but I want to make it a little bit stronger today. The Arizona Diamondbacks, if they are going to be buyers at the deadline, should be buyers right now. That they are not a team positioned strong enough to wait until July to buy. They need to make a move now. It's nice to think about a team that's going to be a buyer at the deadline. It's nice to think about a team that can play well enough and then add in July and try to push this team and give this team reinforcements and support this team and help them go on a run in August and September. It's nice to do that. The season is on the line right now. And so if you're going to buy, do it right now. Do not wait until the end of July. Do not wait until July 31st rolls around, because let me let you in on a little secret, everybody. If this team chooses to wait until the end of July, if this team chooses to wait for the market to heat up a little bit, for teams to actually truthfully want to sell, they are not going to be in a position to buy. The buying time is now. If you want to wait and see where things stand, if you want to wait and see how things play out over the next month, I will tell you how they will play out. This offense will continue to be great. The pitching staff will not give enough length, and the bullpen will continue to blow leads left and right. And we will get to the end of July, best case scenario, with this team in a very similar spot to the one that they are in today. And so I ask you this question. If this team is 1 game below 500, if this team is 3 games out of a wild card spot in a month, when the July 31st trade deadline rolls around, what are the Diamondbacks going to do? What should the Diamondbacks do? I don't know if that is a team worth investing into. I don't know if that is a team worth pushing the chips further into the middle. Now, we have mentioned in the past that Corbin Burns going down and missing the rest of this year and probably missing all of last year does put you in a weird spot where this feels like your last chance for this window, your last gasp, last chance saloon, as we call it here on the program. That you have to, if you're in a position to do so, go for it. But are they going to be in a position if they're still 3 or 4 games back, if they're still below 500, if they still have all of the same issues? Is there enough that they can do at the deadline? Do we really think this team right now is 1 piece away? Do we think right now this team is 2 pieces away? How many moves, realistically, is this team going to have to make at the deadline to actually firmly be a contender?
In total, I think you need to make 3 moves, probably 1 top name move where you add, a big piece in the bullpen. And then you add, some mid-tier guys to give you depth. But I can't see a world where they can compete just making 2 moves.
You need 3 relievers and you need a starter. That's the reality of the situation. The Arizona Diamondbacks are 3 relievers short and 1 starter short. That's where they sit right now, June 19th. They're 3 relievers short of a bullpen that you can begin to wrap your head around.
And let's do it. Okay. Looking at the sellers now, where can they find a starter?
Who are the sellers right now in baseball? Who are the teams that you firmly want to say, this team is a seller? I look at the White Sox. I look at the Rockies. I look at the Pirates. All of those teams, double-digit games out of a wild card spot and towards the bottom. The A's are 16 games below 500 and are 9 games out. The Nationals and Marlins are 9.5 games out in the National League. I mean, these are the teams that you're looking at. Those are the teams that you're calling up. The A's are not trading Mason Miller. As much as I would love Mason Miller on the Diamondbacks, the A's are not trading Mason Miller, and the Diamondbacks do not have the capital to trade for Mason Miller.
In the morning meeting, David Bednar's name came up. That's an arm they could go out. And I would call him a top-tier reliever that you're going to add to this. You find a closer.
It's a closer that right now the team doesn't have.
And then, okay, who else is sellers? Baltimore. Could you go out and grab, Felix Bautista, anybody like that? That's another big name that you could make a call about. What are they willing to give him up for? Could you add a starter in there?
And I don't want to hear wait for AJ Puck. I've been waiting for AJ Puck, and he's getting a second opinion.
AJ Puck, and you hate to say this, is going to a place where I would say 90% of the time the news coming out of is season's over.
Right. We've watched it happen multiple times already with this team and other pitchers on this staff. And so I think if you're the Diamondbacks, you're calling up Colorado, you're calling up Pittsburgh, you're calling up Miami and Washington and the A's and the White Sox, and you're seeing, do they have any options that I want? Because again, you are 3 relievers short in your bullpen. I said it now in number 1. I will say it again. This team right now does not have a 7th, 8th, or 9th inning guy. They don't have 2 setup men, and they don't have a closer. Shelby Miller, while he's been great this season, he has not been great in that 9th inning role. You want to tell me that he can be one of your candidates to be a setup man for the 7th or the 8th? That's fine. You need 3 relievers. You need 1 starter. And the longer you wait, the longer that this goes, you're not getting those pieces. So what if you got one of those arms now to try to buy you some time? What if you tried to get one of those 3 arms to maybe give you the 7th or the 8th inning guy? And then you waited to see if AJ Puck was going to be able to come back. Again, doesn't look great, but what if you waited to see what the answer was there? And you added a small reinforcement. Remember, we talked about the buckets, the low, medium, and higher leverage arms that you can go out and get. What if you got somebody in that medium bucket? What if you got somebody that isn't going to cost you a lot, that you can just give a team a lottery ticket prospect for? And you know what? You can get some reinforcements and you can at least buy yourself some time so that when it comes to July 31st, we're not talking about 3 relievers and a starter. Now we're talking about you just need 1 or 2 relievers and a starter. You have to do something right now because I'm telling you, if you still believe in this team is not going to get to a place to be a buyer in July. And maybe that's okay. Maybe there's an argument that selling and moving all these guys with 1-year contracts and seeing what type of haul you can get back could be worth it. But if this team's going to be a buyer, it needs to be right now. It needs to be in the next week or 10 days because I worry that a week and 10 days from now, if they don't have a good stretch against Colorado, against Miami, against the White Sox, we're not going to talk about them being buyers. We are going to firmly talk about them being sellers. They've got to find some help. Make a small move. Make a minor move that isn't going to wow us, but will at least tell us and send the signal of you're trying to improve this team. You need to keep this. You need to gain ground in the standings. You need to be a team that's above 500 if you're going to be a buyer at the deadline. If you're just going to hover around 500, a game below, a game above, and you're going to constantly be 3 or 4 games back, and you're not going to pole vault the other teams in front of you, because that's the hard part. You've got the Cardinals, the Reds, and the Brewers all in front of you before you even get to the Padres. Those teams are going to make improvements. Those teams are playing better baseball than you.
You're not just 3 teams out or 3 games out. You're 3 games and 4 teams out. So not only do you have to make up ground on one team who has the wild card spot, but you have a handful of teams in front of you that you also have to pass. Time is running out.
You're gaining no ground on the Reds right now. They're 8-2 in their last 10. So you're giving away ground to them. You are actually gaining ground in your last 10 over the Cardinals. They're 3-7 in their last 10. You're 5-5. And the Brewers, the other team that's directly on the outside looking in, they're 5-5 in their last 10. You're not getting anywhere. You're not. If this was a team that was 3 back and they were just looking up at the Padres, buy, baby, buy. But you have to buy and also hop these teams who, by the way, are also going to be buyers. Beat them to the punch. Get somebody, get help in here right now. And I don't want to hear that it's hard. The White Sox, if you called them, they'd make a trade. If the A's, if you called them, they would make a trade. The Pirates, the Marlins, the Rockies, they're making trades. They're not going to tell you, we kind of want to see how this is going to play out. They would make a trade. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. You can also join us over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. It was a shocking piece of NBA news yesterday. The Lakers have been sold for a whopping $10 billion. What does it mean for the rest of the NBA? It's next on the lunch break. KDUS AM 1060.
Ready to tackle each morning with the best sports information coming at you?
I'm going to take a logical approach.
Get that weekday mornings on KDUS AM 1060 from 6 to 9 a.m. with the Dan Patrick Show. Dan Patrick, the Danettes, sports icons, sports legends, celebrities, poll questions. The Dan Patrick Show has it all.
It's a crapshoot.
Be sure to lock your dials to AM 1060 or 100.7 HD2 from 6 to 9 a.m. Mornings just got better.
This story is about us.
You gear up, you ride safe, you follow all the rules. Then someone crashes into you and suddenly you're guilty until proven innocent? Hi, I'm Mark Breyer.
And I'm Alexis Breyer. We're the husband and wife law team. If you're a rider, you're already fighting every day just to be seen. Distracted drivers love to blame riders, even when the facts say otherwise.
We have been promoting motorcycle safety and trusted by the riding community for nearly 30 years. Do your research after a motorcycle injury. Call the husband and wife law team first.
Phoenix, are you ready to ascend? Bring me the horizon. USA Ascension Program Part 1.
Every sky will build, my friend.
Taking over Footprint Center, October 2nd, with special guest
Crawling from hell.
Motionless in White, The Plot in You, and Amira El Fiki. On sale now at livenation.com. Bring me the horizon. Presented by the Big Red Radio.
A blown call at the plate?
Safe.
Frustrating. Spilling your nachos in the stands?
Ah, man.
Disappointing. Finding a scorpion in your home?
Honey, I need a little help in here.
Unnecessary. Nate here, owner of Blue Sky Pest Control, the official service provider of the Arizona Diamondbacks and Chase Field. While we can't do anything about the nachos, we can definitely take care of the scorpions. Call 602 Blue Sky today and get big league pest protection for your home. Hello, Blue Sky. Goodbye, pests.
How do you feel when you switch to Geico and save on your car insurance? It's like unloading the grocery bags from your car and you decide you can get all the bags in one trip.
I can do it.
So you load up all 14 grocery bags on both arms. Sure, you can't feel your fingers and forgot to take your house keys out.
Almost there.
But you never put down one bag and you made it inside all in one trip, like the bag-carrying boss you are.
Yes.
Yep, switching and saving with Geico feels just like that. Get more with Geico.
Empty slogans and cute jingles, lawyers love to act like they care. Do they back it up? Hi, I'm Mark Breyer.
And I'm Alexis Breyer. We're the husband and wife law team. One study found that half of all clients were unhappy with the lawyer they hired. The number one complaint, a total lack of communication.
We take client happiness seriously. That's why we survey all our clients and know that over 97% are happy. Do your research. Call the husband and wife law team first.
Global Credit Union, how can I help you?
It's one of those voice prompts.
Representative! Good morning. How can I help?
Wait, is this a real person?
It's 2 a.m.
We're here to help members 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
Impossible.
At Global, possible.
Learn more at globalcu.org.
Global Credit Union, your world of financial possibilities.
Join in on the Sports Zoo on your ride home from work with Dave Rooster Bierstein. Join Rooster as he lays down what's happening around sports and makes it clear what's on his mind.
Oh, my.
Catch the day's craziest stories and some of the latest numbers from the sports books across the valley. The Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a wild option.
Weekdays 5 to 6 p.m. on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
The shocking news of the NBA world yesterday, Lakers are being sold for just a small price. You can buy the Los Angeles Lakers for the low price of $10 billion.
I thought they got lowballed.
Should have went for 12, 15?
I'll be honest with you. Watching that number come across, you know what my first question was?
Okay.
What are the Cowboys worth?
They're worth less than that, right? You would assume. So? Well, let's look at this. There's this great story on ESPN talking about the last couple of sales of teams. The Celtics just sold for $6.1 billion. The Commanders are the last football team that we've had sold. That was $6 billion.
And imagine that's $6 billion. The stadium is falling apart. And the team was a disaster until Jaden Daniels got there.
I would agree, yes. You think the Cowboys are worth more than that?
I think the Cowboys are worth 11.
Don't they do this? Doesn't like Forbes do this every year?
You would have to.
Somebody
imagine.
does this. If I type into the Google machine over here, Forbes sports teams value, I'm going to get something, right? The internet's going to give me something here. And it's going to tell me that the Cowboys are worth like $9.5 billion, and I'm going to be right and you're going to be wrong.
The Lakers projected by Forbes was 7.1.
And they projected the Cowboys at 10.1.
10.1.
All right. 10.1 billion for the Cowboys?
Which under this logic would price them around 13 billion plus.
I just can't see. I mean, Jerry's not selling the team.
No. They're never going to sell.
But are they really worth 13 billion?
I think like that stadium is alone. What's that worth?
What's the land worth? What's the retail space worth? All the concerts and shows that they run throughout the year. It just feels like it does feel like you reach a point where you're not going to see the return on that investment. Like for all of the people that are selling their teams right now, they bought them for a couple $100 million. So they're reaping I don't see Mark Walter, owner of the Dodgers, who's now going to be the owner of the Lakers. Do we see a world where, 30, 40, 50 years from now, the Lakers are worth $100 billion and he's going to, 10x his investment?
I mean, Jerry Buss bought the Lakers for $67.5 million.
See, that's the return on the investment. I don't think Mark Walter is getting a similar return on the investment.
He just sold them for
$10 billion.
$10 billion.
$10 billion.
Or not him, but his family.
What does this mean for the rest of the NBA? Well, it doesn't mean a whole lot of good if you are a non-Laker fan today, which put me at the top of the list. Because we are going to see a different era of Lakers basketball, because all you have to do is look at the difference in the Dodgers since Mark Walter took over there and bought that team. There was an investment in the infrastructure. There was an investment in the analytic department, the coaching staff, the training staff, the scouting department, the international scouting department, every single thing that's under the hood that makes baseball go. Conditioning coaches, equipment, facilities, you name it. All of that saw a major investment when Mark Walter got there. That same thing's going to happen for the Lakers. And you're seeing a lot of people start to report that the Lakers were not very good at having the best infrastructure before, that they weren't investing a ton into their scouting and their player development and the analytics and all of that under the hood, behind the scenes stuff that we don't really talk about a lot when it comes to building a sustainable winner. We talk about the players and the coaches and the GMs and the drafts and free agency and trades that you can make. We forget about some of the under the hood stuff. Well, Mark Walter doesn't forget the under the hood stuff. He invests heavily into that while also allowing the Dodgers front office to spend $700 million on Shohei Ohtani, trading for Mookie Betts, acquiring Freddie Freeman.
They spend smartly. They're never in a deal where you're like, wow, that's a bad contract, but the Dodgers can afford it.
No, but they're spending a lot of money, both on the actual roster and on everything else. So the aprons, Don't think they're going to matter to the Los Angeles Lakers. And that's where everybody went yesterday. Oh, they're going to always be a second apron team because it's not going to matter. Yes, that would concern me. But what would concern me even more is they're going to invest in the nutrition and the chefs that they have at the building. And they're going to beef up their analytics department so that they can be ahead of the curve and ahead of everybody else. And oh, by the way, they're in the LA TV market, so they're doing pretty good there as well. This is bad news for the rest of the NBA. This is great news if you're a Lakers fan today. And I know that there are so many of them within the sound of my voice listening to me on Phoenix Sports Talk Radio. This is bad news for the rest of the NBA because there is now financial muscle that the Lakers are going to be able to throw around that they have not thrown around in the past. The Lakers brand, the Lakers mystique has done a lot of the heavy lifting over the last decade or two. Now they're going to have that mystique, that prestige, but they're also going to have the financial backing to flex that muscle and be the best of the best. It's great news if you're a Lakers fan. Bad news for everybody else in the NBA.
I mean, you said it best. Look at the Dodgers.
Yeah,
I mean, they're good at so many.
They're good at everything.
Things.
They're good at everything.
Things. And it's the annoying part about the Dodgers is that every year you hear like, oh, yeah, the Dodgers, they can make a move because they have a great farm system. How many guys around the league are like, yeah, well, imagine if the Dodgers hung on to Yordan Alvarez.
Don't be surprised if all of a sudden the Lakers get really good at developing round 2 picks into just rotational pieces that they can then trade as part of bigger packages to get superstars. Like, that's what the Dodgers are so good at. The Dodgers, they spend money, yes, but they develop a deep farm system that they can constantly pull from. Gavin Lux was supposed to be the shortstop second baseman of the future for the Dodgers forever. They just traded him no problem a couple years ago. Haven't missed a beat. That's what the Lakers are going to become. That is where they are going to thrive, is all of the under the hood stuff that makes in modern sports make you a dynasty, a powerhouse, a franchise to be reckoned with. The Lakers won a championship with LeBron, have been relevant, not because they've spent smarter than everybody else, because they have a great coaching staff and a great scouting department, great analytics, no, they've done it in spite of all of that. Now they're going to have those tools available to them. And oh, by the way, when a Giannis becomes available or a Devin Booker becomes available or whatever superstar is going to get dangled out there and their name's going to float out there in the ether, yeah, you should immediately start thinking about the Lakers because guess what? They're not going to care about how much their tax bill becomes.
Not at all.
480-864-1060, the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. We've got one more for you before we are out of here. The Diamondbacks holding on to a 2-1 lead in the third. We'll keep an eye on that. We'll obviously break it all down on tomorrow's edition of the show. But when we come back, it's the leftovers. All the stories we didn't get to throughout the course of the program. We'll do them next. It's the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
Hey listeners, Vince DeLisio from the Varsity Sports Show. Tune in Saturday morning for another fun summertime event. We'll travel around the country and the world this week as we hear from some of our newest fall interns. Plus, my old friend Campo Verde Athletic Director Max Ragsdale checks in from a family vacation in Laughlin, Nevada. Start your weekend off with a smile with the Varsity Sports Show Saturday morning from 9 to 11 on AM 1060 KDUS, Arizona.
If you need to hire, it seems like the whole process can be exhausting. You search resumes, wait for the right candidates to apply, set up initial interviews. It's a lot of time and work. Well, what if you could meet with qualified candidates for your job the very next day? Now you can with Zip Intro from ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. Zip Intro is super easy to use. You simply pick a time, and it does all the work of finding and scheduling qualified candidates for you. Then you can choose who you want to talk to and meet with great people on back-to-back video calls as soon as the next day. Best of all, you save time and energy.
Try Zip Intro for free right now at this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. Zip Intro. Post jobs today. Talk to qualified candidates tomorrow. Once again, go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Make memories you'll cherish for years to come. Join Miss Appleberry, JJ, Cody, Nina, and Cece for a lively Melon Patch musical adventure in this exciting interactive live show. Saturday, October 4th and Sunday, October 5th at the Arizona State Fair. Sing along. Dance along. Play together. Tickets on sale now at azstatefair.com and include Arizona State Fair admission. It's a celebration of connection and childhood wonder. Coco Melon Sing Along Live inside the Coliseum at the Arizona State Fair.
At Shane Company, we know getting engaged is a big decision. But once you know, you know. That's the way our customers feel when they choose a Shane Company engagement ring. They walk into a warm welcome and walk out with their dream ring, knowing they got it right. For almost 100 years, we've been offering personalized shopping experiences. And we're in it way past the honeymoon, with a free lifetime warranty that includes the center stone, cleanings, repairs, and resizing for life. Shop with us at shaneco.com or at your neighborhood store. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alicio is your hub for everything high school and college sports. Join Vince and friends as they give you the full picture on student athletes and where they're heading. Live interviews with coaches across the valley.
Asking some of the tough questions.
Varsity recaps and in-depth interviews with tomorrow's sports stars. The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alicio. Live every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. Here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Eugenio Suarez got the message. He understands the Diamondbacks have to score 400 runs a game if they're going to win. He hit a 2-run homer earlier, now a 2-run double in the third. The Diamondbacks are up 4-1. Eugenio Suarez understands what is required of this baseball team right now. He understood the assignment.
Pavin Smith got on base, also hitting third today.
Well, no Corbin Carroll. They got to shuffle the lineup around a little bit.
You went with Pavin Smith at 3?
They're giving Corbin Carroll a day after he got hit on the hand last night. And by the way, with the injury luck the Diamondbacks have had this season, anytime somebody gets hit, happened again. Ryan Nelson got hit earlier in this game. A comebacker hit him on the ankle. I just get worried every time something happens now. With all the pitching injuries that they've had, I just worry that anytime somebody gets hit, it's going to be a season-ending injury.
No, anytime anything happens,
you're like,
somebody slips, you're like, oh,
easy. I don't need that to be a torn ACL, please.
Speaking of a slip, by the way.
Okay.
And baseball.
Are we segueing into the leftovers?
We are.
Well, that means I have to introduce you for the leftovers.
Bang, bang, bang.
Take it away.
So the College World Series is underway.
Oh, you made me watch this.
I had to make you watch this in the morning meeting.
I will raise my hand and say, obviously, it's my job to pay attention to a lot of sports. It was the Diamondbacks were playing early. I made dinner for the family.
It's
afterwards.
LSU, Arkansas.
I just did not put the game on. I didn't see it. And then this morning you asked me if I had seen what happened. And I said, no, you made me watch it. That is potentially one of the worst ways to be eliminated from the postseason.
So I'll start by telling everybody. So Arkansas goes into the 9th inning up 2.
5-3. They have a 5-3 lead.
And LSU gets 2 on. And then 1 out in the 9th, 2 on, first and second. Somebody hits a hard hit ball down the third base line. Third baseman makes a nice play.
It was a good play.
Nice play. Ball was hit hard, and he steps on the bag. He could have thrown to first and got him. Like he was halfway down the line.
I know. I don't have a problem with you making the play to get the lead runner at third.
He gets the lead runner. He steps on third. So that's the first mini mistake.
It's not a mistake.
It's a mini mistake.
I would like for you to have tried to turn the double play, but you got an out. Okay, you're 2 outs. You're an out away from
punching your ticket.
Well,
no. They needed it
to force another game. Yes.
Force another game. So then the next hitter comes up from LSU and lines one into left field.
It's over.
It's over. Right at the left fielder.
It's hit hard, but it's right at a guy. It's over. Arkansas's forced another game. We're running it back to
And the left fielder takes a small back step and slips. And even though he goes down to his knee, it's okay. Because the ball is hit right at him.
Yeah, we've got enough time.
He can still get up there and catch it.
We can recover.
And he gets a bad read on it. He misses it. It hits his right shoulder and shoots to the corner. A game-tying double.
Now, in fairness, that did not lose them the game. The next batter came up and then dumped one into right center field. Off of the second baseman's glove.
The worst part is he had a chance at that too because it hits his glove.
I don't want to call it a comedy of errors, but just the sequence of events that occurred there for Arkansas to go from winning 5-3 to force another game to then losing 6-5 and not even forcing it into extras. Just one of the worst ways to lose.
And Arkansas had responded. They were down 2-1. They got it to 5-3 in the ninth inning and then just couldn't shut the door.
It was bad.
Heartbreaking.
Heartbreaking is to say the least.
With that being said, college baseball gets underrated sometimes.
The College Baseball World Series is a lot of fun.
Because the fielding isn't as great, which inevitably makes it a tad more fun.
Coastal is a great story. They haven't lost since April. Like, legitimately, haven't lost since April.
I know.
It's June. They've gone over 2 months without losing a baseball game. Now they're just a couple wins away from winning the College World Series. My family lives 10 minutes around the corner from Coastal Carolina University in South Carolina. People go crazy for them down there where my parents live.
For the baseball squad?
Just everything Coastal Carolina.
You remember that game, and I'm sure you specifically have watched it a few times, but it was a Friday night, Coastal football playing BYU.
I don't need this today, okay?
Sorry.
Yes, this is a game where during COVID, Zach
Wilson made a throw in that game.
Yeah, that's probably where they fell in love with him. Yep, that's great. Thanks. Appreciate that. What else you got in the leftovers?
Game 6 of the NBA Finals tonight. Speaking of winner go home, it's winner go home for the Pacers tonight in Indiana. We don't really know the status on Halliburton. I would assume he's going to play.
He's compromised, though.
But he's compromised.
Playing or not playing, he is not 100%. And to me, that's all this game needs to tell me that Oklahoma City is winning the title tonight.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Halliburton not at 100%. As much as I love the depth of Indiana and what they've been able to do all postseason long, no Halliburton is. I mean, again, even a diminished Halliburton, I just don't know if he's going to be able to give them what they need to keep pace with Oklahoma City.
Be awesome to see them win, see them go 7. Because this has been a pretty fun series.
It going 7 would shock everybody. It being at game 6 right now shocks a lot of people.
Everybody.
It didn't shock me.
No. There was a local radio host in town here who was agreeing with his producer when his producer told him this series is definitely going 7.
I think it was a buy or sell take that I bought and said that it was going at least 6.
So random, but James Wood just hit a walk-off home run.
Okay.
He's on my fantasy team.
Okay.
This guy is awesome. I mean, this Juan Soto trade is working out.
They did really well. It was the rare time where you get a bunch of prospects back, and most, if not all of them, have hit for them. He's a fun player. I've watched him a bunch this season. He hits the ball really hard, hits a ton of home runs. Yeah, he's a lot of fun.
Yeah, he's really fun. Moving on to football, CJ Mosley has hung up the cleats after 10 years in the league.
Yeah.
A New York Jet, a Baltimore Raven.
Yeah, he was great in both places. One of the best linebackers of his era, his generation of the position. Was great in Baltimore, was great first couple years in New York, and a great career. And kudos to him, and good luck in whatever his next endeavor is going to be.
So at 10 years, he gets the pension?
I can't say for certain, but I do believe 10 years sounds right. Yes.
I think that's what it is, because Will Compton is always calling himself a 10-year guy, even though I think he technically needs 1 year. Now, he needs a team to bring him back for one.
Now, I think CJ Mosley's going to be okay. Made a lot of money in his career.
Yes. Yeah, no. He's going to be fine.
He's going to be just fine. I don't know what his career earnings were, but he probably made over $100 million in his career. Career earnings for CJ Mosley, over $100 million. If I set the number at $100 million career earnings for CJ Mosley, what do you think?
I think it's close. Do you want me to look it up?
No, I was going to look it up and see if you wanted to try to guess.
Oh, okay. Yeah, do that.
So career earnings, CJ Mosley, I'm setting the number at $100 million.
I think it's 94.
You think it's 90? That's oddly specific, and I'm uncomfortable with how specific that was. That's because it's exactly what it was, and you cheated.
No, I did not cheat. I swear I did not cheat.
You have 5 monitors over there. There is no way.
You can go through my search history.
I don't believe you.
I
that's fine. You may be telling the truth. I don't believe you. His reported career earnings, according to Spotrac, is $94.6 million.
No, if I cheated, I would have said 0.6.
No, you wouldn't have.
I would have been exact.
This is exactly what you would have done. You would have just rounded it and been like, 94, or you would have said 95, and you would have been like,
really, I know ball calling that.
No, there's no way. There's no way that there was not some shenanigans afoot there. No way. Jim Rome is coming up next. Producer Evan, thank you for all that you do. Everybody, have a great rest of your Thursday. We will talk to you tomorrow. Is it going to be KD Day tomorrow? Who knows? We'll talk to you then. See ya!